I know I'm the better fighter. We fight 10 times, I'm gonna win 10 times.
I believe 100% that I can beat him.
Manny Pacquiao he's not a better fighter than me. Nowhere around the board.
Can't punch him. Oh! You gotta do this again, baby. You gotta do. Easy work. Easy.
Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao just crossed paths for the first time since their rematch was announced, and the vibe was instantly tense. Floyd made his stance clear. Pacquiao is still just easy work, and the 2026 sequel will end exactly like the first. While Mayweather talks about an easy night, the intensity of this preparation shows that Manny Pacquiao is a man determined to settle the score once and for all.
Are you in as good a shape as you were before Floyd, do you think?
Yes, I'm in shape always because I love exercise every day, so that's my habit.
This isn't just about staying active, it's a lifelong discipline that keeps Manny Pacquiao dangerous even a decade later. While Mayweather dismisses the threat, the sheer work ethic on display proves that Pacquiao is building something far more explosive than easy work for their September showdown.
Being 100% healthy.
I believe 100% that I can beat him. Especially my shoulder fix, yeah.
This level of conviction proves that Manny Pacquiao is no longer fighting a ghost from the past. He's hunting a legacy. While the world remembers the decision in 2015, the man standing here today is fueled by a quiet, dangerous confidence that the result this time will be the shock of the century. Manny Pacquiao is no longer just seeking a rematch, but full redemption, a sentiment shared by his legendary trainer Freddie Roach, who believes the tide has finally turned against Floyd's undefeated record. He stated, "I know we can win that fight." Freddie Roach isn't just speaking out of loyalty, he's seeing openings in the gym that suggest the invincible Mayweather defense is finally starting to crack. The master trainer is convinced they have found the specific flaws needed to hand Floyd his first professional loss after a decade of waiting.
I'm glad Floyd back, man. You know, that's my one of my favorite fighters. You know, I'm excited to see him back.
Meanwhile, Jaron Ennis admits his genuine excitement shows just how much weight Floyd's return still carries in the sport. It isn't every day that a top-tier world champion speaks like a fan, but that is the level of influence Mayweather has on the current generation. The buzz in the boxing world has completely shifted now that one of the greatest to ever do it is officially stepping back under the lights. This comeback has clearly reignited a spark in the division that only a name this big could provide. It sets a massive tone for an event that is quickly becoming the biggest talking point in years.
I had a weird feeling like, I knew Floyd was going to come back, but I didn't think it was going to be the rematch with them two. I thought Floyd was going to come back and fight like a Barrios or something like that. Like, this is like later, like early on though. I thought he was gonna come back and fight Barrios.
And then Manny ended up doing it.
Yeah, that's Manny. Manny ended up doing it. That's crazy. Yeah.
The shock expressed by Jaron Ennis mirrors exactly what the entire boxing community felt when the news finally broke. Most experts assumed Floyd would take a safer tune-up fight against a younger name like Mario Barrios to shake off the ring rust. Instead, Jaron highlights how the decision to skip the warm-ups and go straight for the biggest rivalry in history has left everyone stunned. It's a high-risk move that proves this isn't just a typical exhibition, but a calculated gamble that nobody saw coming. The sheer unpredictability of this matchup is what makes the 2026 sequel feel so much more dangerous than a standard comeback.
it's crazy. You know, like, it's gonna be different though because what 40, 50 or 49?
49.
Dog, like yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I feel like he still got everything. He still got his tools and all that stuff. But I think him being 49, 50, I feel like he's not gonna be moving as much and things like that. I feel like it's gonna be more. He gonna be more action packed now. To me, I don't know why.
You think they're gonna stand there?
For some, I got a weird feeling, like some weird reason, like not just standing there, but like you know how Floyd usually move and yeah. I think he gonna move, but not too much, cause he older. He 49. Like, come on, right? He ain't about to be moving for 10, 12 rounds straight at that age. He ain't fighting how long?
Jaron points out a fascinating physical reality. At 49 years old, Floyd may no longer have the legs to dance around the ring for 12 rounds. This realization by Jaron suggests that the defensive master will be forced to stand his ground and trade in the pocket, potentially leading to the most violent fight of his career. It creates a terrifying scenario where Mayweather can no longer rely on pure movement, turning a tactical chess match into a brutal, action-packed war. This shift in style could be exactly what allows Pacquiao to finally land the shots he's been dreaming of for a decade. It's a high-stakes evolution that could result in the most explosive performance we've ever seen from either man.
Watch it. I step back like I have my distance. That's why I step back. See, I have my distance. Fighters don't know their distance.
Despite the outside noise, the focus shifts back to the one man who refuses to let his perfect record slip. Floyd Mayweather is currently back in the lab, pushing his 49-year-old body through a world-class camp to prove that his easy work claim isn't just talk. The grueling intensity of his preparation shows a fighter who understands that his 50-0 legacy is truly on the line this September. Every training session is a message to Manny Pacquiao that the defensive genius who dominated a decade ago hasn't lost a step. He is leaving nothing to chance, preparing to turn the lights out on this rivalry once and for all at the Sphere.
See why he has accomplished so much in the sport of boxing. The angles that he used. But I'm so crafty. All I had to do is find one thing. Manny Pacquiao has to set up. He set up. What I do, I time him, box, touch it. Because my reach is a 72. So touch it. Because mainly he like to fight in the inside and throw a bunch of shots.
I will, Greg.
Yeah, so what I do is box, step back, watch him, check him with the hook, and then he turn back around, he gotta set up again. And while he's setting up, I'm boxing, picking different shots. And then when he get too close, I lock him up so he won't get no shots off. It's smart.
Even nearly a decade later, this strategic obsession is exactly why Floyd remains the most dangerous puzzle in boxing history. He isn't just relying on speed, he is relying on a mental map of his opponent's every move that he has perfected since their first meeting. By breaking down the timing and distance required to neutralize those famous flurries, Floyd is signaling that the 2026 rematch will be a repeat of his masterclass. He knows that if he can control the space and keep the action within his reach, Pacquiao's power becomes a non-factor. It's a cold, calculated approach that suggests the easy work mantra is backed by a defensive system that hasn't aged a day.
I know I'm the better fighter. We fight 10 times, I'm gonna win 10 times. We fight 20 times, I'm gonna win 20 times. We fight 100 times, I'm gonna win 100 times. Manny Pacquiao he's not a better fighter than me. Nowhere around the board.
This isn't just confidence, it is a declaration of total superiority that has defined Floyd's mindset for nearly a decade. By claiming that no amount of rematches could ever change the outcome, he is attempting to dismantle Manny Pacquiao's motivation before they even step back into the ring. It's a high-stakes psychological game that turns the 2026 sequel into a battle for more than just a win. It's a battle for the final word on who is the truly greater fighter of their generation.
I do. He looks like he's retaining a lot of his reflexes and his hand-eye coordination. And I think that there's guys he could beat, actually. I know it sounds crazy, but I think there's a few guys he could beat at 47.
Even nearly a decade later, to a seasoned expert like Coach Breadman, what Mayweather is doing at his age seems to defy the laws of the sport. It's a terrifying thought for any opponent that a fighter nearing 50 can still possess the sharp reflexes of a man in his prime. This isn't just about looking good in training, it's about the very real possibility that Floyd could still dominate top-tier competition today. The technical foundation he built over decades appears to be completely intact, making him far more dangerous than anyone wants to admit. It sets a high-stakes tone for 2026, suggesting the speed everyone expects to be gone might still be waiting in the ring.
I think it's both. I think there's some athletes that have real neat athleticism and they just gifted where they can just retain their athleticism. Some athletes can't. It just depends on how much punishment you take, just where you at genetically. You know what I mean? We don't know what he's doing in his off time from boxing. You know, he might do stem cell. He might just do things to take care of himself in a different kind of way. But he appears, I don't, just looking at him online, he appears to retain a lot of his athleticism.
The history of how a fighter stays this fresh usually comes down to a mix of elite science and pure, rare genetics. Coach Breadman highlights the fact that Floyd hasn't just been lucky, he has likely spent a fortune and a lifetime protecting his most valuable asset, his body. While other legends are slowed down by years of punishment, Mayweather's lack of damage has allowed him to retain a level of athleticism that shouldn't exist at this stage. It's a chilling reminder that Pacquiao isn't just fighting a man, but a biological outlier who has stayed perfectly preserved.
Floyd is he operating on like autopilot. He got like genius level adjustments. He's an adjustable fighter. So you're not going to do, the mind lasts longer than the body. There's certain things that Ryan do to these guys, he's not going to do to Floyd.
Coach Breadman points out that while physical speed can fade, the boxing IQ that Floyd possesses is operating on a level that few humans will ever reach. This autopilot mode means he can make split-second adjustments to any attack Pacquiao throws before Manny even realizes he's being timed. It creates a psychological trap where the more Pacquiao tries to press the action, the more he plays right into Floyd's hands. It's a battle of a body that refuses to quit and a mind that simply cannot be outsmarted.
Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao 2. The fight nobody asked for except me. I need this because if Floyd wins, he can finally pay me my $1.5 million. I don't care about the legacy fight. I don't care that these men have a combined age of 100 years. I care that Floyd Mayweather, the best boxer alive, uses those same hands that made him 100 million to Venmo me my money. And Floyd, if you're watching this, win it and pay me back or I'm gonna send my goons after you.
This public call-out stems from Logan Paul's claim that Floyd owes him a $1.5 million cut from a secret $10 million pre-sale deal in Dubai. Logan is now rooting for the 2026 rematch purely as a debt collection mission, hoping a massive payday finally allows Floyd to settle his tab. It turns the undefeated king into a man fighting not just for glory, but to keep his creditors at bay. Logan is exposing Floyd's ticket shark model, where Mayweather acts as his own promoter to manipulate the arena's inventory. By reportedly buying up entire sections of his own seats before the public can, he can resell them at massive 3 to 5 times markups. This strategy ensures he secures a massive profit before the opening bell even rings, turning a sporting event into a calculated real estate flip. It shows that the easy work mantra applies to his accounting just as much as his boxing. This insight makes the 2026 rematch feel like a financial heist, where fans are paying a Mayweather tax just to see the legends collide. The most serious allegation involves a trapped investor who allegedly dumped a $1.4 million into Floyd's ticket scheme, only to be strong-armed for years. According to Logan, this massive debt is being rolled over into the 2026 Pacquiao rematch just to keep the legal walls from closing in. It creates a dark narrative where old financial holes are being filled with new fight money in a high-stakes survival game. The suspense for September is no longer about a knockout. It's about whether Floyd can win big enough to pay off the angry millionaires waiting for their checks. This turns the clash at the Sphere into a mandatory rescue move for a legacy that might be under immense pressure.
Yeah, when you need money. This is the problem with boxing. You think about financial literacy, right? And you talk about like NFL players or NBA players. There's support systems for those dudes. There's nothing like that for fighters. They got to figure it out all themselves. And if you're a fighter, that means you did not have options.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like basketball or football. If you could, like, by the way, football players couldn't play basketball or they play basketball. It's a better deal, right? That's if you can, you do.
Kellerman highlights a dark truth. Unlike the NBA or NFL, boxing provides no institutional support for their athletes once the cheering stops. This lack of a safety net means that fighters like Floyd and Pacquiao are forced to navigate complex financial worlds alone, often without the education needed to protect their millions. When debts like Logan's $1.5 million start surfacing, the only survival skill these legends have is the very thing that damaged them in the first place. It suggests that many legacy fights are born out of a mandatory paycheck rather than a sporting desire for the rematch.
Those things, right? They're too small or they got hurt, whatever it is. And so you're dealing with a section of our world that is unlikely to do really well with the money they earn. And on top of that, there's no support or kind of structure in place to help them at all. And so what usually happens with almost every fighter who ever lived, not everyone, but most of them, is they wind up going broke at a certain point, right? First of all, taxes, child support, all that kind of stuff, that promoters, this and that, and then just the way you spend your money. Could be bad investments. You could try to do the right thing and wind up with bad investments. You could just spend too much.
The path to going broke is often paved with high taxes, entourage costs, and the ticket shark schemes Logan exposed that eventually fail. Kellerman explains that even a fighter who earns hundreds of millions can find themselves underwater when their lifestyle is built on a constant cash flow that inevitably dries up. This isn't just about spending too much. It's about a predatory industry where bad investments can wipe out a 50-0 fortune in an instant. It paints the Mayweather-Pacquiao sequel as a final attempt to fix financial mistakes made over the last decade of retirement.
Just in the world anymore, but you're one of, let's say, the 50 best in the world at what you do in your weight class still. Hard to tell that dude, you can make $100 million. No, don't do that because you're old.
Right.
Why would he not do that?
When a fighter is still technically elite but haunted by debt, the temptation of a 9-figure payday becomes impossible to ignore. Kellerman points out the human impossibility of telling a man like Mayweather to stay retired when $100 million, enough to clear every debt and settle every Logan Paul lawsuit, is sitting on the table. Even if his body is 49, the mind still sees a path to a massive bag that could secure several generations of wealth in a single night. This creates a dangerous scenario where legends risk their health because the financial reward is simply too massive to walk away from.
That boxing has not produced new characters that whose stories people really want to follow. If we were producing those guys, and hopefully we will now with Zuffa, there'd be less interest in the kind of sideshow fights or the senior tour type fights.
Right.
Because we'd be invested in new characters. We haven't had characters that have captured the public's imagination because people don't know who they are.
This blunt assessment by Max Kellerman reveals the star power crisis that has left boxing leaning on its aging icons to sell tickets. He argues that because the sport has failed to build new, compelling characters, fans are naturally drawn back to the senior tour of legends like Mayweather and Pacquiao. While the world waits for fresh faces to capture the public's imagination, the vacuum is being filled by these massive sideshow events that guarantee eyes and revenue. It suggests that the hype for September isn't just about the two men in the ring, but a symptom of a sport that hasn't found its next great story. This makes the rematch feel less like a choice and more like a necessity for a boxing world that is currently living in the past. The road to this September rematch is paved with far more than just boxing gloves and training camps. While Manny Pacquiao remains fueled by a pure, obsessive drive for redemption, the walls around Floyd Mayweather seem to be closing in from a different direction. Between the technical brilliance analyzed by Coach Breadman and the staggering financial allegations brought forward by Logan Paul, this fight has become a high-stakes gamble for both men. It is no longer just a contest of who has the faster hands or the better chin. It is a battle against time, debt, and the heavy burden of a 50-0 legacy that is suddenly looking vulnerable. Whether it's a masterclass in defense or a desperate financial bailout, the world will be watching to see if the invincible aura finally shatters at the Sphere. What do you think? Does Floyd Mayweather still have the autopilot genius to outmaneuver a man who is obsessed with his downfall? Can Manny Pacquiao's relentless work ethic finally overcome the defensive blueprint that has baffled the world for 2 decades? Is the pressure of millions in alleged debt and investor lawsuits going to sharpen Floyd's focus, or will it be the distraction that finally leads to his first professional loss? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and tune in for more videos like this.